AOA podcast back for another episode 2 of 2025. Oh my goodness. Electric red. I don't know. What do you, is it? I don't know. Feels too red. A little too red. Oh my God, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. We've just got it all. As you can see from our wonderful rundown here, we've got the California wildfires. I promise you I'm not wearing red because of the wildfires. But the wildfires are unbelievable. Some of the footage that's coming up is just crazy. You know, it's you see the one where the two guys in the apartment and the whole, it looks like an apocalypse, an absolute apocalypse. So we'll discuss. Diddy is clashing with Luigi Mangioni. How about this for some craziness? Well, speaking of craziness, we've got Donald Trump renaming the Gulf of Mexico, and I don't know if he's stopping there. Some other assorted topics and such, my friends. We have a podcast. California wildfires. As I was saying, the wildfires looks like a third world country. It looks like an apocalypse movie. Some of the footage that is out in the world. The Los Angeles Kings, the hockey team, had a game tonight in Los Angeles. That's been postponed because they don't want people just driving around. There's a whole slew of celebrities and actors who are actually out there having to work and help and do things, lift a finger. Lots of celebrities affected. There was actually like a celebrity map of people who were affected from the wildfires. Everybody from Ben Affleck to, well, Steve Guttenberg. Did everybody see the Steve Guttenberg footage? There was a reporter from KTLA in Los Angeles, and he was just interviewing people at random, and he just rolls on over, and there's like Steve Guttenberg trying to help people move some cars.
Announcement I wonder if I could just make. Here on Palisades Drive, if anybody has a car and they leave the keys in the car, right, so that we can move your car, so that these fire trucks can get up Palisades Drive. Yeah. What's happening is people take their keys with them as if they're in a parking lot. This is not a parking lot. Yeah. We really need people to move their cars. So if you leave your car in Palisades Drive, leave the key in there so a guy like me can move your cars and get them up there so that these fire trucks can get up there. It's really, really important.
Thank you for talking to us live, sir. What's your name?
My name is Steve Guttenberg.
Steve, do you live in this area?
I live in the area. I live right up the hill. And thank goodness everybody's back. But I have friends up there right now, and they can't.
The fucking reporter, basically, maybe it's because he's wearing ski goggles, can't recognize Steve Guttenberg for the love of God. I mean, it's Steve Guttenberg. Like instantly, you're just like, oh, that's Steve Guttenberg in the middle of the wildfires. I like how he's all like, a guy like me can, Steve Guttenberg is out there fucking saving people. He's making, like, we're watching like a real live movie, you know? By the way, I don't know if you know this. This is breaking news. I've just been handed this. The next 3 Men and a Baby, the sequel, will be just 2 men and a wildfire. The baby and one of the dudes didn't make it in the sequel. So very, very sad. But regardless, Gutenberg's out there fucking moving cars, making shit happen. And where's Ben Affleck? He's supposed to be Batman, for the love of God. What the hell is he doing? You're the superhero, Affleck. Why aren't you out there saving people? We got Steve Guttenberg doing everything he can. He's moving cars. You know? By the way, here's what's crazy about the wildfires. They're angry about having to, like, all the cars being in the way. That's a normal conversation in Brooklyn on a Tuesday afternoon. This is the same interview you would get in Brooklyn if somebody was like, what's going on? They're probably like, hey, you got to move the cars. You got to get rid of these cars. This is ridiculous. Everybody's just leaving their cars everywhere. This is utterly absurd. So it takes a special wildfire in California to get that sort of vibe going, whereas in Brooklyn, it just has to be a Tuesday. And people are upset by the amount of cars fucking everywhere.
Evacuate because it's stuck on Palisades Drive.
Yeah, and you're an actor.
Yeah, I'm an actor.
Okay, now you look familiar. You look familiar to me now.
Yeah.
So, sir, do you have family up there? I was just talking to that gentleman. He has a mom who's stuck up in the hills.
Yeah, there are people stuck up there. So we're trying to clear Palisade Drive, and I'm walking up there as far as I can, moving cars. But people leave don't take their keys with them as if it's a parking lot. There are families up there. There are pets up there. There are people who really need help.
And you told us that this is one of those situations. We have seen this. People are not able to move. We were in our live truck. We couldn't even move. They told us to bust a U-turn. I've never seen traffic this slow.
Well, of course, we've got a huge fire up there. We got.
And it's just crazy. Just look at let's just look at the scene behind him. It's like unbelievable. I mean, oh, here we go. It's I didn't say hi to everybody. Everybody in the live chat. How's it going? Christella. Let's see, Flying Y, TD, Robin, everybody's here. Bird, all right, good. Miss Justice, thank you. Yes, KTLA gave us this is KTLA's YouTube channel. Appreciate that as always. Matt's here. Everybody wishing a happy New Year to Matt. Our guy, our number one man, Willie's here. Will, good to see you again. All right, good. Everybody's here. Yeah, it's just absurd and just bizarre and crazy. There was another video of I'm trying to see, I don't know if it's here. Oh, now like Steve Gutenberg is just like checking in. He's become Mr. Wildfire. Steve Gutenberg he's now just doing live hits from the wildfire situation over there in Cali. Look at all these videos. It's nuts. Just some of these scenes are just so like you just can't even believe that it's real. This is NBC News. Yeah, just look at these like scenes. It's unbelievable. There was footage before I was watching, and it was like there's just these guys in an apartment, and they're just wildfires just all around their windows, and they're just like, well, they're like trying to calm down the dog, and I'm just get the fuck out of your house. I don't know why anybody is still there. It seems like crazy to me that these, I get that you live there and everything, but just leave. And this is like I can't even, it feels like, it feels like we're getting wildfires every 2 months now over there in California. Crazy winds. Everybody's blasting the mayor of Los Angeles. She's not answering questions. There was a report before that the fire department budget in Los Angeles was cut by $17 million, which seems crazy to me that nobody's prepared for this kind of a thing. 30,000 people affected, tons of celebrities, as I said before, just celebrities everywhere. Also, Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton. So both Batmans completely useless in this situation, yet Steve Gutenberg is saving lives by moving cars. It almost makes you think that Tim Burton should have cast Steve Gutenberg instead of Michael Keaton, because he's the real hero in all of this. And that also goes for, I forget who the hell cast Ben Affleck, but it feels like that should have been Steve Gutenberg too. Steve Gutenberg is the new Batman, just so everybody knows. It's just Steve Gutenberg. He's going to be our guy. 50, 60, 70, 80 mile per hour winds. And it's like so crazy just to see like the fire just jumping from one spot to another because the winds are just pushing it, So I feel for these people. By the way, 5 deaths so far. And I'm going to go ahead and say that is a miracle, because you watch some of this footage and you're like, how are not like 1,000 people dead already? So it really is kind of a miracle that only 5 people have died so far. Thank goodness. I mean, it's sad that 5 people have died, of course, but it's only 5. That's amazing compared to what you think it would be just by looking at some of the scenes, that we're seeing just like absurd, just like these crazy, bizarre scenes. Flying Y, bless your heart for gifting a AOA membership. Of course, you get some behind-the-scenes access for as low as $2.99 a month, going all the way up to $19.99 a month, depending on how much you want to support the show. We always appreciate that, and Flying Y is so generous, footing the tab for somebody else to become a member so they can take part in some of the wonderful content that we give to our members only, in the members only area. If you haven't joined that yet and you missed a chance to jump on Flying Y's generosity, click the link in the description below on this episode. No matter if you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on Spotify, YouTube, wherever you're watching, there's links in the description below to become an AOA member. So thank you, Fly NY, for your generosity. You do indeed rock. Look at the applause in the chat for Fly NY. I love Michael Keaton too. I didn't wake up this morning thinking I want to shit all over Michael Keaton today. He's the last Batman I want to turn on, but the real Bruce Wayne in all of our lives at this moment is indeed Steve Guttenberg. So obviously, hopefully everybody gets out of Los Angeles that need. I mean, it's just over. You just look at the wildfires, and it's just over this huge, from Pine Valley to Palm Springs, Big Bear Lake, Santa Ana, Los Angeles, Pasadena, Santa Clarita, Ventura, all the way over to Santa Barbara. It's just like nuts. There's just fire weather alerts all over those areas. So, we'll just keep you up to date on that situation, and hopefully everybody gets out of there okay, but just get the hell out of there. There just should be nobody in. I mean, kudos to the Kings for stepping up and canceling their game tonight. There should just be no reason to have anybody in that area of the wildfires. Speaking of wildfires, we might have one in the detention center over there in Brooklyn. So remember the place where Diddy's been held? It was the same place where Epstein was held. There's all sorts of zero responsibility in that prison. Well, Luigi Mangioni was brought there, and of course, Diddy's pissed off because Diddy's out of control. This guy's got an ego on him like you wouldn't believe. Mangioni gets brought in. All the inmates are like dying to get a glimpse of him, apparently. Like, I'm hearing all these stories, like they're applauding every time he comes around. He's in like a special area where Diddy used to be. Now Diddy's kind of like, I don't think Diddy's in a full gen pop, but he's in like another area with other people. So like he's sliding down the scale of importance in the prison, and he is none too happy about it. Sources are telling several news outlets that Diddy is losing his shit over the fact that the other criminals in this prison are more excited for Luigi Mangioni than they are for Diddy. So he's fucking losing his mind over the fact that Luigi Mangioni, goddess among women, is getting more attention. And I believe getting an extra helping of mashed potatoes. I haven't been able to confirm that as of yet, but I'm going to go and check with my sources because I believe he's getting an extra helping of mashed taters is what I think. J Sabs,
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. If you could sit on somebody's face, would it be Diddy or
Luigi?
Okay, that's what I thought. You're still loving Luigi Mangioni.
He can get it.
Whose face gets sat on first, Luigi Mangioni or Matt Rife?
Oh, this is a tough one.
It's close.
I feel like this is like presidential election right now. Like George Bush versus, I don't know, some other hottie.
Do you need a second to think about this? Because I put you on the spot. We didn't prepare for this.
Oof. This is a tough one.
Robin brings up a good point. Luigi Mangioni has had the most recent hit. That's true. Diddy hasn't had a hit in a while. Luigi Mangioni just had a hit a couple weeks ago. Good point,
That's
Robin.
True.
That's very, very true.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say Luigi.
You and Bird both. That's very interesting. That's very, very interesting. Yeah, Luigi's. It's because he's more brave than Matt Rife. I feel like that's what it is.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I think that's
such a badass.
I think so. So hopefully one of them will stab the other in the shower. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to reporting that one of them took out the other one. I don't really care who it is.
We'll see.
My only hope is they do it at 8:25 on a Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. That's my only hope in life, is that happens just before a live episode.
You would.
I know. J Sabs, we have to talk about Donald Trump, president-elect, renaming everything. But before we do, would you like to recap your? We haven't heard from you since the holiday break.
Let me just tell you something. I don't know who wished this on me, but real quick, I was sick for Christmas. I had the flu.
Can I say something? Take your time. We're not in any rush.
Okay.
Yeah, don't do it real quick. Do it real slow.
That's what I told my husband, but it doesn't work out. So
well, it's hard. It's not easy. For him.
So I woke up on the 21st of December, not September, and bad cough, headache, and I didn't know. I really didn't know what it was. My legs were hurting me, but I thought it was because I did this different workout on Friday or Thursday. I can't remember which day I did it.
Wait, you did a workout?
Well, I always work out, but I did a different kind of workout. I do. I go to the gym 3 to 4 times a week, bro.
I've never
okay, I'm going to show you videos.
I've never heard this before, but okay. What's the name of your gym?
Crunch.
She did say that very fast. Okay, I believe you.
So I wasn't sure if it was because of that. So then Sunday, I sounded like I had sucked about 76 penises. That's how bad my voice. I didn't really. It just sounded horrible.
That was a specific number.
Not 75, 76. So Monday, I said, you know what? Walking pneumonia is going around. I need something for this cough. I'm gonna have to suck it up and go to urgent care. Go to urgent care.
This is a lot of sucking so far. This is a lot of sucking.
Oh, it gets better.
Okay.
Because, all right. So I go in the waiting room and I see 2 doctors, and one's a female and one's a male who's slightly older, probably in his 50s.
So you went to the male?
No. Hot.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I said, oh, God, please don't let me get him. Please.
Why?
Looking like this, God, please do not let me get him. Okay?
Okay.
So you go in the room, they take your vitals. Okay, the doctor will be in. Okay, fine. Okay, I have a thing. I don't like to sit on the whatever it's called, table. I thought
you were going to say doctor's face. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, this doctor's face. I don't like to sit on the table. I find it awkward. I don't like to sit. Okay.
With the paper and everything?
Yeah, I just don't like to do that. It's something about me.
So what do you do when you go into the room?
So I actually was like standing up against the wall behind the door, sort of.
What are you, a weirdo?
So he comes in, he goes, oh, of course. So the door opens, and of course it's him. And I'm like, and he's like, oh, were you hiding from me? And I was like, I'm sorry, I just don't like to sit on it. He's like, it's okay. I could tell he thought, oh God, this one's a fucking nut job. Exactly.
That's what we're all thinking. Wait, so when they go to examine you, are you just standing randomly in the room?
I mean, like, then I'll sit, but I don't like to sit. I think it's an awkward thing to sit. I don't like to sit to begin with. So I'm going to stand, okay? It's weird. It's weird, okay? So.
Something's weird, all right. It ain't sitting on the table.
So I'm like, great. Now it's him. So now he's like, looking at my throat, and he's like, all right, can you cough? Again, he's like, has a stethoscope on me, and I started to get like, oh God, thinking of the more sexual things in my head as he's doing this. Then he's like, you have no fever, but you are sweating a little bit. And I was like, oh God, he noticed it. I'm not even kidding you. So he's like, and he's talking about my symptoms. I go, yeah, I know. It's probably, he goes, well, what's going around? I said, walking pneumonia. He goes, wow, you're pretty good at this medical stuff. I said, oh, thank you, doctor. And he's like, okay, now for the real examination part. I said, what? He goes, take off all your clothes, and now you're going to have to lay on the table.
He did not say this.
I wish.
We're all paying attention. We didn't do that.
So he's like, do you want me to test you for the flu? I said, okay. He goes, COVID. I said, okay. I said, let me ask you a question. If you tested me for COVID, why? He said, I know. I said, so you could charge my insurance more? So he laughed. He goes, I guess it's just for peace of mind. He goes, because there's no restrictions with it now. There really isn't. There's no medicine for it. He goes, you don't have to quarantine anymore. He's like, you don't have to do any of that. He goes, I guess it's just for peace of mind. I said, I don't care if I have it or not. I said, but I don't think. He goes, all right, if you want, I'll test you for the flu. I said, okay, fine. So test me for the flu. 15 minutes later, they call me. They're like, yeah, you're positive for flu. I said, what? For real? Because it wasn't like, I had flu about 15 years ago, and it was bad. Like, I had such bad body. I had a fever. Like, I had a fever on Saturday and Sunday a little bit, but not like, it wasn't high. So anyway, that was Monday night. That was Monday. Monday night, my husband and my oldest daughter started to feel sick. And then Tuesday morning, my other daughter started to feel sick. So we missed Christmas Eve. We missed Christmas Day.
Oh.
So it was really, honestly, I felt really terrible. Wait. I have to get myself up. That's what she said.
So you didn't do any, like, you didn't visit all family and do the whole thing?
Not with the flu.
Mm.
And my father's on treatment, so he cannot get sick. And so they were alone, my parents, because my brother also got the flu with his wife.
Holy shit.
I saw my brother for about 5 minutes on Saturday. He dropped off something to my house. He came in. I was not near him at all. I don't know if he got it from me or from other people, because the flu has been going around like bad around here. But so he missed going to my parents. And then we were supposed to celebrate that Saturday, but it was like he still wasn't feeling great Friday. So we actually just celebrated Christmas on Saturday, this past Saturday.
Oh, see, that's it. Because I texted your mom just after Christmas, before New Year's, and I said, how was Christmas? And she goes, it was the best ever.
You bastard.
She goes, I didn't have my shitty kids around me. I actually got to enjoy myself. Her words, not mine.
You son of a bitch. So I have to say, it was really, really terrible. So I was not happy.
Next time, can I tell you something? Get tested for COVID, because we can't. If Santa gets COVID, he's not going to make it. He's overweight and elderly.
Is who?
Santa Claus.
Oh,
yeah.
Santa.
If your brother's catching the flu from being in your house for 2 minutes, we can't risk Santa Claus. So, do me a favor.
That's true. So flu, and I have to say, it tired me out more than anything. But even when the flu was definitely worse than COVID, because when I had COVID, it was literally nothing. And I remember I had a bad allergy attack a couple of weeks after that, and that was 10 times worse. So,
well, I think it depends on what. Just, COVID the same as the flu. It's like whatever strain you get. It's.
Well, we had strain A, which is everyone's getting that right now.
Yeah.
And it's just, I couldn't believe it, because when he said it, I was going, really? Am I really? But I was really most upset that I got Hottie Doctor, because I did not want him. And he was like, oh, you're sweat. Do you sweat? Do you usually sweat? I wanted to say, not when there's not fucking hot doctors. What do you want me to do, bro?
How old was he? 50, 60?
He was in his 50s, I'd say. Early 50s.
That's hot. I'm a little turned on by it, to be honest with you.
So yeah, break was just completely ruined. It was 2 weeks. And it's like we didn't even really do anything at all. So
just kind of sat around the house.
Yeah. How about you?
Yeah, last year we got Last year we got the colds, but
That's
this year we were perfectly healthy. Unfortunately, Uncle Glory Hole had a heating problem in his apartment, so we couldn't go there for Christmas Eve.
Oh no, really? So would you do it then?
We did it at home. We just celebrated at home.
With your parents?
Yeah, parents came in. They took a break from swinging down in the villages, and they came up and it was nice. My sister came over Christmas Day. We had dinner with my niece and everything. It was nice.
That's good. That's good.
It was nice, yeah.
Were you actually off for 2 weeks too, or no?
We were, the whole time off. And here's the thing about being off for 2 weeks. It just, after a while, it's like, I got to get the fuck out of here. Like, I can't sit around. The kids are just sitting around. Everybody is just like, it's just like, I don't know. I got to get out of the house a little bit,
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna do all this behind the scenes work on the podcast that I did nothing. It was the most nothing I've ever done in 2 weeks. Like I couldn't bring myself to do anything.
Yeah, I can't do that because I'm not a sit-at-homer.
Yeah, after a while it gets to you. Like and the kid. I don't know about your kids, but my kids, like after 3 days, like 3 days straight at home. We got to get them out. Like, we got to get them out. Got to start doing things.
They're always out anyway, but like being at home and not being able to like actually do anything, it was not good. They didn't, to tell you the truth, they didn't really get it that bad. They really didn't. But like my one daughter, one day, she never did this before ever. She stayed in her bed the whole day. She's never ever done that. My other, and she was like completely content with being in her bed. She doesn't have a TV in her room. She was on her tablet, then she was reading as well. And I was like, "Are you tired?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm really tired." I'm like, "Damn, okay." So I think that was like our biggest thing, that we were just like really tired. But it was like we got to do something. So I think like Saturday. Not this past Saturday before, was in like we started to get out a little bit. Like, all right, let's start moving here. Because you get like comfortable if you're sick. Like, you don't want to move then. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, oh yeah.
It takes a lot to like get up and like start doing regular things again too. So.
Oh, you start saying shit like you're like, I'm gonna take a shower today, and then you're like, oh wait, I haven't showered in like 4 days. I'm like, I'll shower tomorrow, and then tomorrow comes, and you're just like, it's just not gonna happen today. It's too much.
Yeah, so it was not really fun. New Year's Eve, we went to our friend's house for a party. One of the others, well, actually, they're part of our regular group now.
Now, what's it like having friends?
It's good.
Yeah,
we went there, but I'll tell you something. Oh, this is the one thing. I did not want to. I had a very bad taste in my mouth. I didn't even want to drink on New Year's Eve. How about that? That's how you know. That's how you know. I had one espresso martini. I was like, I don't really even want another one. How's that? Isn't that weird?
Well, espresso martini. Are you really an espresso martini drinker now?
Oh, I love that.
Oh my God, you trend follower, you.
Oh God, but I liked that before. Before it became popular, I like that. I like coffee. I like coffee flavored alcoholic drinks. So
coffee flavored.
Yeah.
All right, got it.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, I do want to tell you one thing I did do that I wanted to say here that I do not recommend doing. We watched a lot of TV. We watched all of the Die Hards, which I never have seen in completion before, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
We saw, what's that movie about? It's like Day One. Hold on. Day One. Help me out in the comments here, in the chat. It's like about like those alien things that come, and if you're not allowed to like talk, or else they'll come and kill you or make noise. You know what I mean?
The one with Sandra Bullock?
No, the other one.
I don't think anybody knows what the fuck you're talking about.
Yes, you do. It's John Krasinski and his wife. Hold on. He
The
directed
Office?
it. No.
Dwight comes and kills everybody? Is that what you're talking about? You lost me.
A Quiet Place.
Oh, A Quiet Place. Don't spoil that. Was it good?
I have to say, I'm not saying a word, Robin. All I'll say is I fucking cried like you wouldn't believe
my God,
it.
You're such a pussy. Jeez.
No, you're gonna see it and you're gonna go, yeah, this is really depressing. It was very depressing to me, and I cried. At one point, I was like I always say, I always try to like hide it from my husband. I don't know why. At one point, I was openly crying, and he looked at me and goes, "Are you crying?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Why?" So that made me even more mad. And I cried even more. It was so...
Well, I'll tell you this. I cried over depression from watching Napoleon because I couldn't believe I wasted 3 hours of my life watching Joaquin Phoenix.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm with you. I understand. I know what that feels like for sure. It's a lot. It's overwhelming.
I want to know where you went out to eat that Uncle Glory Hole took you.
Oh, great. Yeah, great. You know, we didn't talk about this. We do a big dinner every year. Uncle Glory Hole takes us out and really just blows the lid off. And, you know, would be emptying my bank account. He's actually, you know, he's obviously doing better than your old pal Ann here. But it was a good year this year because we did something that don't watch it if you're PMSing. You know, you're on the show. You're on. You don't have to be in the comment section.
Sorry, go ahead. I just wanted to say that. Go ahead. I'm so weird. Just like, who fucking stands up and doesn't sit down?
Let's go back to that. Why are you standing in the dock? Just sit down on the fucking chair thing.
It makes me nervous.
By the way, why do you still have a table? Like every doctor I go to now, it's just like the chair thing with the paper on it.
No,
like the tables are just really at pediatricians. Are you?
No,
going
I'm
to
sorry,
a
not a table. It's a chair.
Okay, you're going to the chair. Okay.
If I have to sit down, I'll sit down on one of the chairs in the room. Not the real chair with the paper on it. Go ahead.
Who stands behind the door? You're lucky he didn't swing at you. You're lucky he didn't swing at you. Because I'm telling you this, if I walk in the door and somebody's behind the door, I'm swinging. I'm just going to swing at him.
I wasn't completely behind the door, but I was on that side of the wall.
That's so creepy. That is just so creepy.
I know.
Anyway, yeah, we didn't recap the dinner. Thank you for asking. So Uncle Glory Hole takes us out, and this year we went to the Baccarat Hotel.
Ooh.
Yeah. So for people who don't know, Baccarat is they make the crystal, and so they have like a lounge area, and everything in there is everything is crystal. The chandeliers, the glasses, like there's just these beautiful drapes and ornate, you know, the room is decorated so wonderful. Like it was just unbelievable. And we had ridiculous cocktails, like just to give people in it, like what's the average cocktail? I wonder what in the comments below right now. Tell me what you're paying for a cocktail where you are, because I'll tell you what we're paying in New York, and then what we paid at the Baccarat. What are you? What's an average cocktail around you, Jay Sabs, these days? $12, $14,
no,
maybe?
It's not. I'd say it's between $15 and $20.
Okay, $15 and $20 for a cocktail. I would love to know what some people are paying across the country. In Canada, we got Australian people.
I do wonder how much people pay.
Well, Matt's paying Weird L. Is that an L or an E? $8 European dollars. What is that? How much is that in American? Can somebody translate Matt's thing into American for us?
Well, they use pounds, right?
It's 8 pounds. Is that a pound?
Hold on.
I call that a weird LE European money sign. That's what I call that.
So pounds to dollars, it's really not that much off now. It's $9.89 USD.
All right, and how many dollars to donuts?
God.
Sorry. DJ Shenanigans is paying 10 to 20. $10? Is that what 8 pounds is? Is $10? Holy shit.
It's 9. What did I just say? What did I just say, you fuck?
I wasn't listening to you. I don't know. Still trying to
8
get past this.
pounds is almost $10.
Wow, you guys are paying very, very cheap for cocktails.
No, I'll tell you why. In England, there's a bar every 2 steps. So, I'm sorry, a pub.
A pub.
So I would say that I would think that there's more people. I don't know.
The cocktails are $10. The fish and chips are $24. That's where they get you.
Mm-hmm.
Mercury says $12. Depends where in Canada. Future 51st state. They're paying $8 to $12. That's still fucking great. That is still great. We're paying. Christella says 12 to 18. Yeah, I'd say that's what we're paying. What you said? What 14 to 8 to 20? Yeah, 12 to 18. So a cocktail at the Baccarat, because I ordered off their specialty cocktail list, was $38.
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
$38.
Now I'm already there. I'm already there looking at the menu.
Oh, can you read off their specialty cocktails? Because I'll tell you which one I got. Here's my other thing. I usually go. I'm always getting. Matt. Wait, buddy. Wait till we get through the rest of the pricing on the menu here. I usually get an old fashioned or something like that. Something bourbon or whiskey based. I'm starting to try just new. I want to try specialty cocktails. And I tried a delicious one there.
Wow. Baccarat Old Fashioned, $55.
Holy shit. Is that how much that was? Because my cousin got that.
Yep. No, this is kind of like I would say this is like a margarita because it has tequila in it. $54. Holy shit. Are you kidding me? Oh my. Okay, hold on. You probably got this. Hold on. Well, okay. Wait. Espresso martini, 36.
Yeah.
You got this. Gold Rush. Jack Daniel's bourbon lemon honey. No,
I told you I didn't get bourbon.
Oh. This I like.
Name the cocktail. Are you looking at the cocktail list?
Yeah. East Side Spritz. Gin, cucumber, lime, mint soda.
Nope.
Hold on. You said it was 30. How much?
It was 38. I believe it was 30. It could have been 36, but I think it was 38.
It wasn't a champagne cocktail, was it?
No.
I don't see.
You're gonna make me go there now.
I'm sorry. It wasn't a classic one though, right? What did it have in it?
I can't. Let me see. Baccarat. I can't even fucking spell Baccarat hotel.
Oh my god! No, this is gonna. We'll see you on Friday's show.
All right, here we go. Dining. Did you see the room? I got the picture. If you go to BaccaratHotels.com, the first picture that shows up is the room that we were in. It's fucking gorgeous.
I know. I saw this.
Like you just sit in the room and you just can't help but just look around and go, "This is fucking gorgeous."
Grand Salon.
A room is like $2,200 to $2,500 a night.
Wait, you didn't sleep there, right?
No, we didn't. No, we didn't sleep there. We did not sleep there. In fact, as soon as we were done eating, they immediately asked me to leave. They were like, "Can you please leave? Because you're dragging down our whole shit."
What did you eat for your main? Because I'm looking at them already.
Okay, so we didn't. Here's the twist. We didn't eat there. We just went there for cocktails and bites.
Okay, what did you eat there though? Like bites.
Where's the fuck? Oh, here, cocktail menu. All right, I'm going to tell you what we ate in a second. Okay, here, Baccarat Classics, no. Classics, no. Champagne, where the fuck is it? I mean, they don't list it online. Well, anyway, there was, I don't know what I fucking had. It was delicious. It was fucking delightful. It was so good. That wasn't it. The cherry blossom begonia. No, none of these were it. It had a strange name. I didn't know that. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize the old fashioned was $55. My cousin got that. So what they do is, you know how in old fashioned you put the Angostura bitters in, and you put a cube of sugar. They make a cotton candy out of the bitters. So the glass comes to the table and there's a big cotton candy on top of it, and then they pour the cocktail over, and as they're pouring the cocktail over, it melts the cotton candy into the cocktail itself. It was unbelievable.
Wow. Okay.
Fucking unbelievable. Your question was, what did we eat? We each got, and there were 3 that came to the table.
Okay.
Not table, but a little lounge area that we were. And it was little tuna tartare on the top. The middle was mini lobster rolls, and the bottom was a truffled grilled cheese.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I have no idea what he dropped, but he dropped an insane amount of money. But the whole experience was gorgeous. We were there for 2 hours. Great conversation. It's what we look forward to all year long. No kids, which is even more of a plus.
Did you stay over this time or no?
We did stay over, but after that, we went to dinner at the Peking Duck.
Oh, okay.
Which is like maybe the least fanciest dinner we ever had, but it was awesome from a standpoint of like, it was so old school New York.
Is that the one? Hold on a minute.
Super famous. They cook the duck and they carve it tableside.
I've been there.
Yeah, it's not like from the Baccarat to the Peking Duck was such a step down, but it wasn't about like it being like we had our fill of fancy for the night with Baccarat. This was just like old school New York City, awning out on the sidewalk, old celebrity photos when you walk in,
Midtown or Chinatown?
It was Midtown.
Did a woman? It was on like the Food Network, right? And a woman owns it. Am I wrong?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. It's
no,
famous.
I'm right.
It's world famous. It's
I've been there before.
Yeah, again, it's not like Michelin star, La Bernadette
kind of. Yeah.
But people go. It's like just old school New York, and so you get the Peking duck and they slice it. In fact, the guy comes out with the Peking duck, and I'm like, so I start filming, and the guy got so fucking pissed.
No.
He starts screaming at one of the other servers. The other server comes over, grabs the duck, and goes, "You want to take pictures of it?" Like he didn't want to be filmed at all. He got so mad at me.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, it was really like he was like, and it was like one of those places where they just don't fuck around. They're just like, like don't fucking take pictures in here. Don't mess around. Eat your food and get the fuck out.
Okay. So
that was really good. And then, it was just, I don't know, it was like rainy in the city. And so everybody, usually sometimes we'll go out some more after that. But I think everybody started drinking so early that by the time we got done with that, we were like wiped out. Because it really, and it's so sad to say, but we're at the age now where, 4 or 5 hours of drinking followed by 2-3 hours of eating. And it's like, you can't really do much more after that,
Yeah, no.
So we literally just went right back to the hotel and fucking passed out.
Where did you stay?
Same place as we did last year, the Hugo. It's sort of downtown, West Side.
Okay, cool.
Close to Chelsea.
Oh, for you, because you like the gays.
I love the gays. Big fan of the gays.
Yeah, it's true.
Just everything around the gays is great. It's like beautiful
lots
and
of
clean.
Glory holes there, so that's
lots of glory holes. Yeah. Yeah, big fan of the gays and the gay areas and everything the gay areas stand for. So it was nice. We had a really, really good time. Like the fucking traffic in the city. I've never seen the city so packed, Janine. Never. So I'll give you an example, and this will tell you how crazy it was. We were going in, and we had to go, the Baccarat's in Midtown, our hotel's in downtown. So I'm like, we're running late now because we had like a flat tire on the way. The whole thing, the day wasn't getting there was like a mess. So we're running late, and I go, I don't know if we're gonna make it. So Cuddles maps, maps the distance from the hotel to Midtown where we needed to be, because we didn't know where we were going. But my uncle's like, we're gonna be really close to the Rockefeller tree. So we mapped that out. It's 22 minutes away.
Right.
So we're like, all right, I think we can make that. And then Cuddles goes, oh no, I messed up. I mapped from Midtown to downtown, not downtown to Midtown, which is what we needed. That was 45 minutes.
No.
Swear to God. And we get into the garage. So we decided to just park the car in Midtown. And it was raining the night that we went. And it was as packed as I can see. And we were in Midtown close to the Rockefeller tree, but we were far enough away that we weren't like 2-3 blocks away. We were like 5 or 6 or 7 blocks away. And the amount of people walking around, in just Midtown Manhattan, I'm like, where are all these fucking people? What are they doing? Yeah. I couldn't believe it. Like I couldn't believe it. And then I got into a fight with a guy at the garage.
Oh no, why?
Oh my God. We parked the car, and nowadays you can reserve online,
right?
Which I strongly suggest you do if you're ever visiting New York. Just reserve your spot online, because you can get to a parking garage and they'll just be like, "We're fucking full," So we reserve our spot online. We parked the car there overnight. We paid, which was actually not bad, like $60 or something, which is not bad for overnight in New York, believe it or not. And we go the next morning. We pay the guy, we paid online. So we show the guy the thing. They go to get the car. So the guy goes, oh, that'll be $15. And I go, what are you talking about? We paid already. And he goes, yeah, but it's $15. And
okay,
I go,
for what?
For what? I go, I'm not giving you $15. He's like, no, you have an oversized vehicle. I said, well, we put, oversized in the thing. So, no. He's like, yeah, no, we got it. He's like, you can come look at it, but it's $15. Like, I'm not giving you $15, because the guy's already pulling the car up. So I'm like, I'm just jumping in the car and going. I don't give a shit. He's like, well, if you don't pay, I get stiff. So the guy goes to close the actual door. So that before the guy gets to gets the car out, I go running over to stop the door.
Did you really?
I swear to God, I ran into the thing, and the guy, it was like a whole fucking scene, because I was just like, you're not. The way the guy said it, it was just like, I'm gonna pull these tourists for $15, which was the most insulting part, because it's like, we grew up. I know we may look like Long Island Hicks now, but we fucking grew up around here. It's like,
yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, so we got into this whole big thing, and then the other guy came. The guy was driving the car was just like. So nice. He's like, I'm so sorry. He's like, let me show you. He pulls the ticket out, and sure enough, in the fine print, they're like, it's up to the discretion of the garage to determine the amount for oversized.
Oh, that's stupid.
Yeah. So it was like another $15. So we had to pay $15 fucking more to get the car out.
Give me a break.
It was so bad that the guy, after we got it all settled, and I tipped the guy, we get in the car, we're getting our stuff settled, we're putting the bags in. The guy came over to me again and apologized. He was like, I'm really sorry. I'm like, it's no big deal. He's like, no, I'm really, he's like, I'm really sorry. And I was like, you gotta be, the way you talk to people, you can't just be like,
right.
Because the way he came across was like, totally like, I'm going to take these people for a couple bucks,
Exactly. Oh, look at these. They don't live here. Right.
Yeah, and it was such a like $15 was kind of like somebody's just gonna go, all right, I guess it's $15 more, so that was a whole fucking scene. But
let me ask you.
Yeah.
You were talking about 45 minutes. You wouldn't take a train from where you were to
look at me. Does it look like I take the fucking subway? Okay. I Uber everywhere.
Or Uber.
Yeah, so we Ubered.
Or a taxi.
We literally Ubered from the restaurant to the hotel. The next morning, we got an Uber from the hotel to our car.
Shut up. Was it that far away?
No, it wasn't that far away, but it's like, it was like Sunday. We left the hotel around 11. Oh, that was the other thing. You know what was so weird? And I can't even tell you what we paid for the hotel. You don't even want to know. It was ridiculous. But we got up and laid in bed till 11 o'clock, literally till 11 o'clock.
Oh, that's nice.
Like we brought a change of clothes. We were going to this might be gross to some people. We were going to shower. We wound up not even showering.
Mm-hmm.
We laid in bed till like 11, which was checkout time. Then we got up, Ubered to the car, got in the car, went home and, showered at home here. But just laying in bed.
Without the kids.
Mm-hmm. I would have paid $1,000 for that.
Yeah, really.
And I paid damn near close to $1,000. But I would have paid $1,000 for that. It was so fucking nice.
I agree.
But I will give credit to the Hotel Hugo. It's clean as shit. It ain't big, but
clean
super clean.
Okay.
Oh, super clean. Which, if you're staying in New York City, cleanliness is what you're going for. You're not going for space.
Believe it or not, I've actually never stayed overnight in this city.
Really?
Never. You know why? I guess because always so close. I don't know why. I just never did.
I've slept in some pretty suspect places in the city.
Probably.
Yeah, some weird spots. But I'll say, here's a little tip for if you're visiting New York City: get a small room because it's easier to clean. That's where you want to be.
Okay.
You don't want to be in those rooms that have a lot of space and whatever, and no rugs. Wood floors. Yeah, wood floor rooms. You want them fucking hitting that shit with bleach after everybody visits. So
I just checked to see how much a room would be for this Saturday night, and it's $289
at the Hotel Hugo.
Mm-hmm.
We paid way more than that.
I know because it's Christmas season. That's why. Yeah,
and we think it was really bad because it was it was December 28th when we went. So I think everybody came into the city on Friday or that morning, and they stayed through New Year's Eve probably.
Yep.
Because it was ridiculous.
Sorry.
Yeah. And usually we'll book, and we booked this hotel on the way in because usually the prices will drop.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll drop if they have empty rooms and whatever. And we use Hotel Tonight. I'm giving away a lot of free publicity on this episode.
Cool. What?
We use Hotel Tonight, and that's an app that it literally shows you price drops as you go. So if you're staying in the city and you don't care where you're staying, wait till 8:00 at night to book your room.
Right.
And do it on Hotel Tonight because you'll get a $600 room, $700-800 room for $200-300.
I know.
The prices did not go down this time around.
I've done that with AC. I should do that with the city. We'll see. Maybe one of my boyfriends will. Oops. I mean, what?
Last topic, J Sabs, and this is an important topic.
Let's go because I have to go soon. Oh, my neck is killing me.
President-elect Donald Trump President-elect Donald Trump is renaming everything. We're just going to grab Canada. We're getting Greenland, apparently. He had this idea the other day to rename the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. And people seem to love that idea.
Yeah.
Which I don't even know how you do. I'm not even sure these things are official. I just think that
No, I have to say, I don't think you can.
We roughly came up with it, and now every time they print out a map, they just put Gulf of Mexico, and it's okay, that's the Gulf of. So I don't know how he's actually going to do this, but because we're an important podcast, we're the podcast of record. If people didn't know,
oh Jesus,
we thought we would take it a step further and go ahead and rename everything else, starting with United Earth of America. We just decided that if President-elect Trump is coming in and he's going to make some shit happen and we're going to rename some stuff, then let's rename some stuff, Right. So we thought, let's go big.
We'll go home.
let's go with United Earth of America. Start this reading. You okay?
Weird. Ooh, sorry, my thing fell out. That's what she said.
We'll start renaming everything. And so United Earth of America is what we start with. Of course, as you can see, renaming the Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America. And then we figured, why stop there? Let's go with the American Ocean instead of the Atlantic Ocean.
Right.
And once you start naming one ocean, you got to think to yourself, well, let's just rename the Pacific the other American Ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Just to kind of make sure that we're keeping the brand strong.
Oh, God.
Brand is everything, J Sabs. And again, you can't stop there. We've got another ocean, the Arctic. Let's just name that the cold American Ocean, because it is, after all, pretty fucking cold. Yeah, it's pretty fucking cold in that Arctic Ocean. It's not just about the oceans. It's about the land as well. So let's start with Europe, since kind of everything started there, and let's name that Old America.
Oh, I like that, actually.
It's pretty good. And we don't want to leave Africa out, so we'll cancel Africa's name and we'll just call that Hot America, because it's hot. They got a lot of desert down there. So we got Hot America. Moving across the globe to India, we'll rename India Spice America, because it all started with the spices and the spice trade, right? We're respecting history when you think about it. And then, of course, you can see in this shot, China, we can't let that name stand.
China.
So we'll just rename China Made in America, because we make everything there. We don't want Japan getting jealous. So we've decided to go ahead and rename Japan Sushi America, since they gave us sushi. And because, we have a lot of Australians, who take part in the podcast here. Australia is a big deal. Let's go ahead and rename that Upside Down Reverse Flush America.
I mean, I like this.
Right? Just because everybody knows where we're at. So I thought that was nice. And since we were kind of down by where Australia was, we thought, let's just keep riding around the globe and keep renaming. So we'll name Antarctica Fucking Freezing America. We're making it happen. I know what you're thinking. What about Greenland? Are we keeping the Greenland name? No, we're calling it Green American Land. And then I thought, since we have China taken care of, we got to go with our other enemy, Russia, and we're going to go ahead and name that Bud Light, because after all, you need sponsorships to get some of these things done that we're trying to do here.
Man, you're good.
Thank you. Well, it's a lot of map reprinting. So I feel like if we just go ahead and we get a sponsor deal, brand deal with Bud Light, now nobody likes to say Russia anyway. Everybody feels like it's a hurry kind of thing. Now we call it Bud Light. We all crack a beer. It's cold already. We don't need refrigeration. You just put it out in the snow. We're good. I think Bud Light will jump on top of this right away. Super fast.
You're good.
Thank you. Listen, I can't take credit for it all. Our pal Tony Hinchcliffe jumped in on the next one as we renamed Puerto Rico Southern Staten Island. So that ties in really, really well. But we're not done yet, J-Sabs, because we're going to go back over. You're thinking you skipped the Middle East. We got you. Hold on, Turkey. We're going to go ahead and name you Thanksgiving.
Oh, I like that.
Because what's more American than Thanksgiving?
What's more of a dad joke than that right there?
Yeah. Well, but here's the thing. Now we got to, again, we got to be America through and through. So if we're going to rename Turkey Thanksgiving, look down at Syria and we'll just go ahead and name that Christmas, because Thanksgiving is followed by Christmas immediately. So we got that done.
What kind of guy are you? You're a good guy.
I'm not good. I think about the people. Lastly, I know what you're thinking. This is real, greedy American. You got to fucking rename everything all of a sudden. I don't want the world to think that. We're not going to go ahead and rename everything. For instance, Georgia, you're safe. We're going to keep that name. We've got a Georgia here. We've got a Georgia over there. It works well, but we can't keep that Georgia there and have Armenia just sitting there. So we'll go ahead and rename that New Florida, just so it all works together. Like we have our little package deal, Georgia, Florida.
Very good.
Right? It all works really well then. So I feel like we tied it all in. So I've sent this over to Project 2025. and the incoming Trump administration just to finalize, just to put their rubber stamp on it. And we'll get cracking on all this really, really soon in the wonderful and new United Earth of America.
You might get it, bro.
I just feel, again, we're like, you know how the New York Times used to be the newspaper of record? We're the podcast of record. So we have to be on top of these things. Yeah. If we're not, who is? You know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
Thank you, J Sabs. Any questions? Anything you want to rename?
No, you're good.
I think we got it all. And we're not, listen, if we got Bud Light in there, but if Coors Light or Vitamin Water wants to step up, there's, we got a lot more spaces. There's a lot more, we didn't touch Madagascar, we got that available. We got areas to get some sponsorships for. So, we got some possibilities in the future.
You're good.
Thank you.
You are good.
Thank you. We write a bit every now and then. We'll see how it works.
God.
I think that's what I'm going for, Bird. I'm looking for a job in the administration, looking for a job in the administration. Christelle loves the deadpan. Great. I'm happy that came across.
Oh God.
I would be the new Secretary of State. I think I would crush it. I would crush it. Let's see. Trump is playing a messed up game of Risk, basically. Yeah, basically. What do you think about Donald Trump just renaming all kinds of shit? I got to tell you something. Frank's not going to like this, but I'm enjoying it.
Me too.
I'm enjoying this crazy bastard just going out and saying the craziest shit,
I mean, it is kind of funny.
You know what I realized, J Sabs? Nothing matters anymore.
I agree.
The world, the line between the internet and the real world is just blurred. So we might as well make the world the internet and make jokes all the time.
Exactly. So stop, people.
And I think that's what he's doing. I think he's trying to get better deals. So he's saying all this ludicrous shit. And then he's just going to come back and be like, we got a better deal. We don't want another fucking state. Canada's not I think he's going to, I think that's the way he's going to play this. So, but people are very upset and angry. They are losing their shit.
Can't wait for the View tomorrow.
What?
Can't wait for the View tomorrow.
Yeah, the View is going to be epic. The View is going to be epic.
They're going to be crazy. Oh, yeah.
They're going to be singing a different tune, and we all have a little piece of Greenland. I think we're all getting a piece of Greenland, which is nice. A little plot of land over there.
Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. That'll be really good.
I got to go before I...
Go ahead. You go.
Again, the flu.
Yeah, you rest up. Are you back in action? Was it a lingering flu where you're over it, but it's like 2 weeks later and you're still kind of fucked up from it a little?
Kind of. It's like I still have a lingering cough, but that's just what it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a cough. So I'm just hoping, knock on wood, that I don't get this stomach virus going around because I'll kill myself. Okay.
Or you shit yourself, one of the two for sure.
Or shit myself, right? So, all right.
J Sabs, ladies and gentlemen. There she goes. J Sabs, everybody.
Thank you. Goodbye, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Let me see here. Oh, I did want to get to this because Fly and Y gave away a on-air membership earlier in the podcast, and Randy J got it. So threw a little thank you out there for the membership gift. I love seeing that connection come together. So that's really awesome. That was really, really fun to see. And of course, tune into the next episode on Friday when we'll go over whatever else Donald Trump decides to rename. Whatever else he decides to change, and then maybe we'll rename some other places in the United States as well. But I think it's just going to be great. I think the United Earth of America, because I don't think we should stop at the Gulf of America. I think we go intergalactic. I think we just take it. We got the United Earth of America, and then maybe we just rename the whole friggin' solar system. Maybe we just go all the way with it. I don't know. But I do believe it's true, though, that we have blurred the lines of reality and internet. And by the way, before we wrap it all up, last episode we were talking about the I said to Frank that we're in a right wing wave right now. You had Donald Trump destroying Kamala Harris and taking over the presidency. Now, all of a sudden, Justin Trudeau has resigned. And from everything we can see in Canada, nobody sees any way the Liberal Party there is going to keep their power. They feel like it's automatically going to go to the Conservative flank in Canada. And now, all of a sudden, I don't know if you guys saw this, but Mark Zuckerberg put out a video talking about just this, about the fact that Facebook is no longer going to censor people. They're going to get rid of their fact checkers, which Zuckerberg admits was a complete disaster. And they're going to go with community notes similar to what X is doing. And he even said in his little video that he put out that they're going to do community notes like X. Like, he totally acknowledges that this is a right here. Let me bring it up for everybody. I mean, this is kind of huge. It's super important to me, because I feel like this was something that I felt when Donald Trump won. I kind of felt like, hey, this is different. Something's going on here. You kind of just felt the tide turning. And to hear Zuckerberg, who's an influential person, Meta, I mean, there's tons of people that Meta reaches between Instagram and Facebook. To hear him come out and say some of this stuff is truly unbelievable. Let's take a listen.
To get back to our roots around free expression on Facebook and Instagram. I started building social media to give people a voice. I gave a speech at Georgetown 5 years ago about the importance of protecting free expression, and I still believe this today. But a lot has happened over the last several years. There's been widespread debate about potential harms from online content. Governments and legacy media have pushed to censor more and more. A lot of this is clearly political, but there's also a lot of legitimately bad stuff out there. Drugs, terrorism, child exploitation. These are things that we take very seriously.
His hair. He didn't mention his hair, but I put his hair out of all the dangerous things in the world. Obviously, terrorism, drugs, but hair. That's going to be top 5 on that list. That hair is fucking awful. I don't know what he's thinking with that fucking hair. But anyway, I didn't mean to get the way he's got.
And I want to make sure that we handle responsibly. So we built a lot of complex systems to moderate content. But the problem with complex systems is they make mistakes. Even if they accidentally censor just 1% of posts, that's millions of people. And we've reached a point where it's just too many mistakes and too much censorship. The recent elections also feel like a cultural tipping point towards once again prioritizing speech. So we're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and restoring free expression on our platforms. More specifically, here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to get rid of fact checkers and replace them with community notes similar to X, starting in the US. After Trump first got elected in 2016, the legacy media wrote nonstop about how misinformation was a threat to democracy. We tried in good faith to address those concerns without becoming the arbiters of truth. But the fact checkers have just been too politically biased and have destroyed more trust than they've created, especially in the US.
So, I mean, these are, he says a cultural tipping point, and it's well said. It's really well said. It is a cultural tipping point, and it goes back, and that's exactly what I said when Trump won. And again, I bring this up. We went from Trump being down and out. He couldn't do shit in the midterms. His capital was gone. And between 2022 and 2024, the world tipped over into the other direction. Listen, if you're a Democrat and you're a liberal, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm more liberal than most people, care for. I want everybody to feel great and all that kind of stuff, want equality, everything. But, it comes with every movement. Culture moves constantly. And it did get to the point where it's like you can't do anything. Everything's racist, crazy, cultural appropriation, sexist, all the you felt it after a while. And by the way, I mean, you can go back to episodes where I've been complaining about this very thing, where it's like we can't say anything on the podcast without getting hamstrung on social media. We make a living off of this thing, and it's like now all of a sudden, because we say the word COVID, or because and again, just to discuss it, just to even talk about Donald Trump or something going on in the news, if we say transgender, I mean, even if we're saying, hey, we got to get transgender people rights, all of a sudden people pick up transgender, and then our episode goes from 5,000 views on Facebook to fucking 220 views, and it's kind of like, what are we doing here? I mean, everybody know. I mean, again, you can go back to the episodes where I say this nonstop. Just the things that we had to avoid saying on the internet got really out of control, and, we talked about this a lot during the Hunter Biden thing, and, the 2020 election and what that would have done, and that the differences that would have made. And, I just think between 2020, like I said, 2022, and then especially between 22 and 24, it really got out of control. It really, really got out of control. And I think these networks, like he was saying, started out with great intentions to not have misinformation spread or this or that. But it turns out you're hiring people have bias, and they just, or you're putting bots in place, and bots can't tell the difference between jokes, humor, satire. So they just stop everything. And then the only thing that they let go is legacy media. And then you see what happens there. Conversation is great. Censorship is not. Sometimes people can say things, again, it's kind of how Hitler rises to power, but then the first thing Hitler does in power is censor. Before Hitler did anything to Jewish people, he got rid of comedians. He got rid of media. He locked all that stuff down. It was key in order for him to do the most evil things. So it's really, really important to have those free speech items in place. And it's unfortunate because some people do abuse it, and some people do use it for bigotry and hatred and racism. And it's terrible, And, I've been on the record of this too, where I've even said, hey, there is no answer. I don't have an answer. I don't know how they stop a terrorist organization from spreading hate and trying to radicalize people while at the same time you have free speech and let people talk. That's not an easy thing to do, and they haven't really done a good job at it either way. But for him to just throw his hands up and be like, I guess we'll just go with community notes is super interesting. And the other part of it too is he's going to save a shit ton of money because he doesn't have to pay these people now. It's just going to be up to the community to put notes on it. And I will say that community notes on X has worked. I don't know if it's stopped every bad thing, but I've definitely seen a bunch of posts where I see something suspect or weird or whatever, and there's a little community note underneath to explain it, whether it's hatred or not even that stuff, but just like confusing stuff or, things that need clarification. Sometimes it's down there on the community note. So it's like, oh, okay. I don't have to go through 10 comments to figure out what this is. I got community notes right there to figure it out. So, the democratization of whether or not something is legitimate or not might just be the best source of correcting things that we have, Is it perfect? No. But it might just be the closest we could get to decent, But, as somebody who's a history buff and you look at the 60s and the 70s and, the 80s, I mean, even 40s and the 50s, just the way culture swung I love that time period, I love the 60s because it's like you have the assassination of Kennedy, you have the fight for civil rights, right? And then you have the sad, depressing, the way the world was after the Kennedy assassination. And then all of a sudden the Beatles come in and it's like so happy. And then we go to the second half of the 60s where like we make big progress towards civil rights. Kennedy's, we're going to get to the moon before Russia or Bud Light. If you're following along early in the episode, we're going to get to the moon. And then we do in 69. And then on top of it all, the New York Mets actually win a World Series, which is only, the first of 2 times in the history of the world. It becomes this whole thing. And then it leads us right into, the peace and love, Woodstock in the 70s and hippies and, just watching and studying that cultural movement is so fun to look at, and then civil rights come into play, so it's like it's a wonderful thing to look back upon and study, and what it did to art and music and food and, culture, and we're in one of those moments, our kids today, and just people in general, they're going to go back to this moment and they're going to look at it and they're going to literally cite 2022 through 2024. And they're going to be like, this was the time when, political correctness hit its height and got out of control. And then the pendulum just swung back the other way. And, expression, started to come through. And I like to look at this not from a political standpoint because that's boring, stupid, and futile and short-sighted. Like, yes, there's all sorts of things going on with politics, but who gives a shit? What is this going to do for expression? What is this going to do to art? What is this going to do to people's voices? I mean, the thing that people fail to realize, liberals especially in this nature, it's like they're so worried about what Donald Trump is going to get across that they're not concerned about the people who want to speak out against Donald Trump, who have been hampered by some of these speech restrictions. Who knows who the next great philosophical speaker or comedian or whatever is going to strike a chord by making fun of the upcoming administration and make a difference. Or maybe it won't. Who knows who's going to strike a chord and keep it rolling for a long time. That could be a possibility too. But the point is we'd rather have that and that freedom of expression than anything else. The alternative isn't great and wasn't working. And, I'm biased because obviously we make a living through speech, right? But it's the truth. It's sad when you see, we could put out episodes and it's getting thousands of views, getting shared. You go on YouTube and you just look at all the numbers racking up, and then you go to Facebook and you're like, what is going on? I don't even know, 17,000, whatever we got on Facebook and followers. And then you go to some of these episodes where we talk about some of these taboo things and there's 17 views. What? It's like, I don't know. And it's not just for me. It's a lot of other people too that deserve to have those voices out there, So Fly and White brings up a good point. Thought Bush Jr. was bad. I think that was, that tipping point in the other direction, right? And if you look at it too, it was the Super Bowl titty. Remember, it was Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson that kind of swung that whole that ushered in that era of religious right, and then we had that for a really long time. And then what happened? Then we got Barack Obama, and we got, it kind of swung back around the other way. And it's always going to do that. That's why none of these things ever really concern me. It's not ever really that big of a deal. But from a culture perspective, I don't think I've ever seen a turn this fast. And I think because we're in it, you don't realize how bad it's getting in one direction. And we, as we're just, it's only January. we're not too far off from 2024. But when you look back at really kind of how bad some things got, it's like, wow, that really was kind of rough. A lot of people kind of really did lose their way. And that's the other great thing about elections, right? Because it's like that tells you what everybody thinks. I asked a ton of questions before the election. How could women feel this way? How could this group feel this way? How could they, which way are they going to vote? And they all said, I don't care. This is the most important thing. This is the most important thing. And you got to look at that and go, okay, that's it. And some people, some legacy media, some people, they don't like that. They'd rather hold people down. That feels more comfortable to them. It's not the way it works. I don't know what lies ahead for all of us. It'll be interesting. I don't know what lies ahead for Greenland and Canada and all that. But like I said before, with all this stuff, I feel like it's, a lot of hyperbole just to get better economic deals. And I think that's where it's all going to wind up. The Greenland thing is interesting because, the more you look at that, a lot of people are, putting the link between Trump and Elon together. And there's a lot of minerals and things that you need to make batteries for electric cars in Greenland. They feel like there's a lot of energy as the ice caps are melting and, more area becomes available to drill. That is obviously an appeal for Greenland. But at the same time, when you look at if you look at the globe and you realize how close, Greenland is to the United States and Russia and, even China, and all these routes starting to open up because those ice caps are melting, it does become a security concern. It does become another way we're exposed to being attacked or, whatever the case may be. And you might be thinking, oh, that's crazy. That's not going to happen. I don't think so, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. It doesn't mean that our government doesn't need to be looking into it. I don't know if that means we take over Greenland. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying there is why this is such an interesting topic of conversation right now. This whole Greenland thing is because it's not out of the realm of possibility, and it is something that needs to be looked into. Cuddles and I were talking this morning, and we were talking about this, and it's kind of like you look at Turkey or Thanksgiving, as I like to say. But you look at Turkey and you go, some of our biggest, defense and army bases are in Turkey. Why? Because it's strategically important to Europe, the Middle East. It's just one of those areas that's like this. We need to be, solid here, and we are. And again, I don't know if we're taking over Greenland or if they want to be taken, whatever. I don't know. But as that whole area, with ice caps melting and whatever the case, technology advancing, drones, all this stuff, when you look at everything that's evolving and going on, you got to start to think maybe it is kind of important that we have something there, And when you look at things like, well, are we going to be, when you look at, hey, this is an area, again, because the ice caps are melting, that could be important for fuel, energy. Should America get it? I don't know. But as Americans, do you want China getting it? Do you want Russia getting it? Just because, there's all this talk about, oh, we can't take Greenland. Trump's an asshole. We can't take Greenland. Well, we also don't want another country to take it. That doesn't mean we can take it to not have the other. But I'm just saying, like, these are conversations that actually do indeed need to be happening. And I mean, I think a traditional American thing is obviously keep Greenland where it is, where the position it is, but just make sure nobody else takes it. But that's not going to come without having something in place there to figure those things out. So before you get caught up in legacy media and everybody going, oh, he's just doing this for Elon. He could be. I'm not defending him at all. He fucking very well could be. But at the same time, he says national security. There is a root issue. When you look at how much travel is going on now across, the North Pole, it is something to look at. It is not something that should be left unguarded. And then when you look at if we are moving towards electric cars and this is going to be a big mineral area, yeah, it's advantageous to Elon, but at the same time, China's sitting over there. They're not just sitting back going, let America no, they're going to be like, hey, can we expand into this? Can we get that? Can we get the better trade? I'm not just talking about taking over the country. It's like there's trade deals. There's all sorts of things that you need to be prepared for, So again, I don't know if, talking about buying it or taking it over is the way to go. I don't know if Trump thinks that he's softening the ground to get treaties and trade deals and defense deals put in place. I don't know, but it's not like he's strictly doing it just for Elon. I don't know about that. I think it might be a really good, it might be a really good. Oh, it'll also be good because my pal Elon will get what he wants. But I do think that Greenland is a serious conversation. And by the way, it's not like this just started with Trump. It feels like it did, but this has been a topic of conversation for quite some time now. So certainly it's worth attention. I don't know if it's getting the right attention, but it's worth attention. So before everybody just writes it all off, just know that there are some real genuine concerns there, I mean, and it's not just Greenland. Like if, I don't know, Madagascar or New Zealand comes across the new fuel source that everybody needs, we'd have to you got to think, well, we got to figure that out too. Because again, you don't want one of the countries trying to put an end to us getting to that first. It was just like the moon. All of a sudden, everybody, the moon, well, Russia might get there. Well, shit, we better get there first. It's the same sort of mentality. You got to be in that game and ready to try and win it. You can't just sit those things out, So, all right. Great second episode of the year. Appreciate everybody's comments and everything else. The Zuckerberg thing, we'll continue to look at. Obviously, Elon moving X in that direction. Now Meta and Instagram are moving in that direction. It'll be interesting to see what happens to TikTok and where that goes and how that's impacted. It'll be interesting now that these new media outlets are doing this, what that does to legacy media. Do they follow suit now and lift some of that, old school political correctness out of the way and bring into the conversation just being able to talk about stuff. We talk about stuff here and I look at comedians sometimes talking about interesting fun topics and you feel the room tighten up. I'm kind of excited to just get back to having some conversations. Is it going to come with assholes offending people and being bigots and racist? It is, but you call that stuff out, you call that stuff out. It's not worth loving people, fair people who want equality. It's not worth them not having the area to float ideas out there. That's super, super important. Keep that in mind as you roll through all this craziness. We're back on Friday. I'm going to talk about this heaven topic because it's been on my mind during the break. I said I didn't really do a lick of work, but I started thinking about heaven a lot. And we got to talk about this on Friday. Friday's the kind of we'll have some cocktails on Friday. And we'll get deep. We'll get a little philosophical with one another on Friday for sure. Think about heaven. What does heaven look like to you? Because we're going to discuss it big time on Friday for sure. And if you want to drop some comments on heaven on this episode, we'll read it next episode. Absolutely 100%. Hopefully Frankie C and J Sabs will be back with us together on Friday. I'd love to have the whole full panel to talk about this. It'll be a lot of fun. Get your guys' opinion on it. Obviously, that'll be a ton of laughs and good times. So I'm for sure looking forward to that. Until then, you guys enjoy your Thursday as much as you possibly can. I'll see you all on the other side or at the next Greenland meeting. I don't know. Whatever comes first.
Show me potato salad. Maybe we should go now.